Beautiful morning. Welcome to Women's Corner. It's good to be here today. I'm excited. And of course, before I introduce my guests, usually we always, give a little bit intro on the topic we're talking about today, which is we're talking about, what people need in relationship, what will help their relationship move forward. But you know what, before I even tell the topic this time around, let's just go for a short break. And of course, when I come back, remember we're streaming live also on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, you can actually like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channels, Galaxy TV News, Galaxy TV Entertainment, and of course, Galaxy TV Comedy. My name is Rose Blossom. So let's take the short break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Yes, let's quickly go for a short break. We need to really go for the short break. Let's set things right. All right, we have to take a short break actually. Let's take a short break, please. All right, yes, welcome back. It's good to be here. Women Corner, apologies for all the delay. We're trying to set things right. Okay, today we're talking about marriage expectation and of course its realities. And we have a very good person, which is so good in marriage. She's the founder of Bam Bam Foods. She's an entrepreneur. She's also a women advocate. And it's good to have you here, Oluwagbemisola Bamiduro. Good morning. Can we have Gbemisola on the screen? Okay, while we're trying to wait for Gbemisola to join in, Gbemisola is already ready. I don't know why we're not bringing her up. But let's quickly check on life hack on how to control your ego. And the reason why this is supposed to come in between this program is because we're talking about marriage expectations, what people expect in marriage before settling down. Then when they settle down, they start facing the realities, and of course at that point it might be a bit difficult to control or manage your ego, both from the man and the woman. So let's quickly check a live tips on how we can control our ego. We'll be right back, and of course Gbemisola is waiting for us, so she'll be joining us pretty soon. Let's go for this live tips. We'll be right back.
7 tips on controlling your ego. Handling your ego problems can be tough. It doesn't want you to be happy after all, but there are several ways using which overcoming ego is possible. Note, if you don't kill your ego before it gets enough power, it becomes your biggest roadblock to success and happiness. Few tips on how to let go of ego problems and free yourself from huge ego you're possessed with. Don't get all personal about it. The first thing you need to do is get less personal about things. Some of you take it too literal. Avoid doing something like that. You should learn to be at peace with yourself. Also know that people don't always mean what they say. Accept all your mistakes. A great way to work on all your ego problems is by accepting your mistakes. Do know that everyone at certain times goes wrong, and it takes very natural to commit a mistake. But being stubborn and selfish about it is not a good thing. It does not matter if you're a parent or a teacher or the boss. You should be humble enough to admit where you've gone wrong. Go and apologize to the person. It will feel light and stop your false ego from controlling your life. Stop being afraid of looking silly. One of the biggest mistakes egoistic people make is living in fear of looking silly. It is often associated with pride, since proud people are always so worried about making a fool out of themselves. And if you have been feeling like this for a while, then stop right away. Know that ego never dies. As you are all aware, the ego is a very smooth operator and would like you to think it is easy to let it go. There are people who have fallen for this and make mistakes as well. Compliment others. It is a great thing to compliment others, plus it is an easy way to pretend that your ego problems doesn't exist just for a bit. Let your partner or friend know how beautiful they look today and how great that dress looks on them. You can also go a bit deeper and compliment them for having a good personality. See what makes them so special and look for positive attributes as well. Stop bragging. It is great to have very high self-esteem and feel great about all accomplishment, but bragging is just foolish and not needed. It is known for boosting ego. If you really have done something great in life, chances are people will come to know about it and will respect you all the more if they get to know how humble you are about it. The lesser you brag about yourself, the more humble and less egoistic you will come across. Be thankful for the little things you have. Be thankful for all the things that you have in life, even if it is something very simple. Once you begin to become a humble person, you will also give more way for your ego to melt. Always remember that you are much more powerful, strong, and beautiful than your high ego can ever be. There is nothing in life that you cannot master.
Yes, Gbemisola Bamiduro, can we have you on the screen, please? So let's start talking because of our time. Can we have Gbemisola on the screen, please? Oh, Gbemisola, I think she's holding on a little bit. Okay, so basically, we know in marriages, a lot of people have realities and expectations, like I said earlier. But usually, most of the times, the reality we face in marriage is much, much different than our expectations. Okay, we already have Gbemisola on the screen. Gbemisola, good morning. How you doing? I don't know if Gbemisola can hear me. Can you please stable your phone so that we can talk to you, please? Please, if you find that Gbemisola is already stable, then please bring her on the screen. Okay, stable now. Good morning. How you doing?
Hi, good morning. My apologies for that.
It's fine. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining in. Okay, basically, my first question is, why do you think, let's take it from the angle of women, why do you think a lot of women have a very different expectation in marriage before even getting into marriage? Why do you think women, because yes, I know men do have theirs, okay, but we're here for women because we need to talk about us, because we're nation builders and we are the one that, you know, how will I put it? Most of the times in Africa, when you say a child is going bad, they will say, yeah, Lufijo, you're just like your mom. But when the child is good, they always say, you resemble me, that's the man now. So basically, why is it that you feel, I feel like a lot of women, when they want to enter marriage, they want to go into marriage, they always have this, always have this high expectation in marriage, but we all know that by the time you enter, it's always different. Why is it that we have those extra expectations?
Okay, I would say that probably it starts from the home. Around here, like in Nigeria, and I think even in like most parts of Africa, the female child is being groomed for marriage. Like when you do anything, you by a certain age, you're expected to learn how to cook, because when you get married, you'll be cooking for your husband. Though things are changing now, like both male and female are being taught how to cook, they are being taught to be domesticated. But like right from time, I think it's more of like the girls are being groomed for marriage. So they see their what's it called? Well, I said their primary goal will be to finish university and just get married, look for someone to get married to. So I'll say it starts from childhood, from the way they are being nurtured in their homes.
Okay, so as someone that is married, basically, you know, I'm very sure you must have had some expectations before getting to marriage, and when you enter, you were like, this is not easy. So I just wanted to I just wanted to share some personal experience that you probably were expecting before you got married to your husband, and when you entered, you were like, this is different from what I expected. Can you share, and how were you able to manage those changes and face your reality? Like, okay, this is the reality now. All those things I'm expecting, I can't get them. I just have to face my reality. Can you share with us some of those experiences so that women can actually learn from that, even those that want to, go into marriage now, so they can actually learn and open their minds to the realities that they should expect?
Okay. I'll say that number one, like, change is the only constant thing. For me, I grew up in a military home. Like, my father is a retired army officer, and most of the time he wasn't around. And not because I'll say it affected my older one's education, because when he's being transferred to, like, posted to another city or state, my mom and the children had to move with him. And it got to a point my mom was like, okay, because of the education, we have to settle in a city. So, and I think I was born around that period where they had settled in a city. So each time they posted my dad to new cities, we like my mom and the children, my siblings rather, did not move with my dad. So probably during our holidays we'd go to visit my dad there, or my dad will have to come visit every fortnight, or like maybe once a month or stuff like that. There are times that my mom had to
okay. I don't know if is she back? Okay, while she's not back, let me just, I think from my own end, well, I'm not, so I can't really give an example of marriage. But I believe one of the most important things that women tend to want to bring up, which, let me just put it down to Gen Z, basically. I don't know why we're always attacking the Gen Z, but I think it's just because of the mentality we see a lot of them have, is the fact whereby, okay, even Big Brother Naija, ex-Big Brother Naija housemate Fina reacted to that. A lot of people will be like, what is women bringing to the table? What are they bringing to the table? And now it's more like she's giving back a jab at, she's throwing a jab at the men. Like, okay, since you say what are women bringing to the table, what are women bringing to the table? But the truth of the matter is you're always asking for what, your mother cannot give to you, which in the fact what she meant is intimacy. You request for intimacy, you request for some certain things from them, like the role of a wife, but at the same time, you're asking for what women bring to the table. I'm not kind of siding her, but in a little way she kind of makes sense with what she said. But basically what I would just want to say, for all the Gen Zs that always feel like a man has to have a lot of money. Yes, I know your father spent on you, give you the best education, and you probably have this high lifestyle. But let's be honest, there are some things that your parents can give to you that a lot of ladies expect their men to give to them. I think whatever you can get for yourself, yes, you're working hard, you're independent, you can get for yourself. I think it's very reasonable that the man should be able to provide those certain things too for yourself. But if you're struggling to get some certain things for yourself, your parent could not even get it for you, talk more of yourself, and you're asking somebody else's child that is still growing up, that is still, living life, expecting to grow old, expecting to have children, or to the children to do that much for you, I think it's actually very outrageous. Anyways, I don't want to do too much talking because of our guest. I don't know if we'll have Gbemi Sola, if she's still back. If she's back, let's have it. Okay. You are sharing your experience. I don't know if you heard what I said about the money part, where a lot of Gen Zs just expect money to just, to be satisfied with whatever they want. Some persons wants to buy a hair of 200,000, but yet they could not get even they could not get for themselves a hair even worth of 15,000. They probably, okay, let's say 50. Some of them will have to drop installmental payment to actually make it work. But at the same time, when they meet a man, expect a man to get that. I don't know, do we see Gbemi Sola? Our screen is getting double. I'm seeing myself in threes. Okay. a lot of people think about that. Then the other part is communication. A lot of times I feel like women, yes, I know we love words, we love, okay, send some romantic messages, always make the calls. In fact, but we forget that why these men are really trying during their busy, I know before getting married they always do everything. They call you, they make all the messages, they do everything. But the point where they get married is like you finish the project, you've just gotten married, that's the end of the project. You focus on another thing, which is children, which is business, which is making life comfortable. At that point they might lose a bit of concentration on the women and not send messages. I think most of the times women need to find a way to be able to communicate that to the men so that they can actually talk to their men, and it can actually make the man change to be able to send them love messages. Or they should even try, sometimes I even advise you start it, make the calls, send the messages, and see if your man rather can be able to change. And maybe at that point you say, okay, you used to do it before, but I started it hoping that you would change. But at this point, it's something that I believe if you try it out yourself, or you have a normal communication with him, it's something that he should be able to change. Anyways, I don't know if we have Gbemisola. Has she joined us? Because the guest is supposed to be speaking. Gbemisola, are you here now? I think Gbemisola is kind of freezing up. Okay, while I don't want to do so much talking, so let's quickly have a safety tips on how to avoid heat exhaustion. Yes, even from the weather, when we are home, in our car, especially our children. I've seen a lot of videos whereby people will be traveling, or you are going to the mall, then you keep your child in the car and you lock the car, you probably don't on the AC, and you move. And a lot of children have actually passed from that. So it's not just about car now, it's about a whole lot of things. So let's quickly see a safety tips to avoid heat exhaustion, and we'll be right back. Hopefully by then Gbemisola network will be okay, so she can continue discussion. But let's have the tips. We'll be right back.
Safety tip to avoid heat exhaustion. Without prompt treatment, heat exhaustion can lead to heat stroke, a life-threatening condition. A stroke occurs when the body reaches a temperature of 104 degrees or higher. Here are some precautions these and other experts offer for anyone headed outside during the hottest month of the year. Pace yourself and reduce activity during the hottest part of the day. Avoid strenuous activity in hot weather, drink plenty of fluids, and rest frequently in a shady or cool spot. Get acclimated to the heat. Limit the amount of time spent working or being active in the heat until you're conditioned to it. This is especially important for people not used to hot weather. Wear loose-fitting, lightweight clothing. Your body doesn't cool properly when wearing excess clothing or clothing that fits tightly. Quickly cool down by drenching clothing with cool water. Protect against sunburn. Protect yourself outside with a wide-brimmed hat, sunglasses and sunscreen because sunburn can reduce the body's ability to cool. Protect your skin using SPF 30 or greater sunscreen applied generously. Reapply every few hours afterwards, especially if you're swimming or drinking a lot. Drink plenty of fluids. Stay hydrated to help your body sweat and maintain body temperature. During outdoor activity or work, keep a drink with electrolyte handy to help replenish fluids, sorting out the substances lost through sweating. Take extra precaution with certain medication. If you take medications, ask your doctor or a healthcare professional if their side effects might affect your ability to stay hydrated or to dissipate heat. Never leave children impaired, adult or pets unattended in hot vehicles. About 40 children under the age of 15 die annually from being left unattended in a vehicle. Never leave a person in a parked car in warm or hot weather, even if the windows are cracked or the car is in the shade. Keep your car locked and the keys in a secure location to prevent children from getting inside when it is parked. Be extra cautious if you are at increased risk for heat stroke. If you have a condition that increases your risk of heat-related problems, avoid the heat as much as possible and act quickly if you notice symptoms of overheating. Those engaged in a sport or other strenuous activity in hot weather should be aware of the signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke and be sure medical services are readily available in case of a heat-related emergency.
Back. Okay, I'm just going to read some few tips. I don't know if Gbemisola is ready. If Gbemisola is ready, rather, please flash on the screen so that I can just, continue with her. But if not, let me just read out some things that I think is very important in marriage expectation and reality. Since network is not our friend today. Okay, she's back. Hi, Gbemi Sola.
Hi.
Please, we
Sorry, the network
hi.
is
We need to report that
like
network to
sticking
the
out.
federal government today. Thank you for still sticking through. Yes, very quickly, our time is almost far gone, but I just want to ask, you were sharing your experience of the expectations you were having before, going into marriage, and when you got into marriage, you noticed that this is a permanent change. And if I remember correctly, you said you grew up in a military home. Daddy was not always around,
yes.
but at a point, mommy had to take everyone, along to meet up with daddy. So you can continue from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, like, because of that, I did not want to get married to a military officer as well. But unfortunately, I thought not getting married to a military officer would make me, like, to my husband more. But the funniest part was, like, earlier days of marriage, my husband had to travel a lot, like, a whole lot. And I was like, God, what's the meaning of this? Like, I thought I could escape that, but it is what it is. I just came to realize that it is what it is, and I had to adjust my expectation. We had to definitely talk about it. We have to find a way around it, and like it's better now.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so basically now, for people to be able to adjust to the realities when they get into marriage. Now, I know there's always this expectation, even from men. Now, how do you think is the easiest way for a woman to adjust to the reality? No, I'm not talking about we have positive reality and we have negative reality. I'm not talking about the negative reality. I'm talking about now understanding that this is what it is. And this is how, like you said, you can't stop him from working. He has to do what he has to do. So it's a positive change. So you have to adjust to the reality of that positivity change. But so I just want you to talk now in that positive light. How do you think women can be able to adjust to this change without any misunderstanding, or maybe the next thing you start hearing is I'm fighting for a divorce? How can a woman adjust to those adjust to those good changes so that they will be able to cope and still enjoy their marriage as it is? Network is not our friend today. Network is not our friend today. It's so painful because I really wanted her to talk a lot. But anyways, like I said, I wanted to give just some few tips so that we could wrap up the show. I'm just going to give some few tips on how you can actually manage yourself in marriage. And despite having a good expectations, it's sometimes unfortunate that those expectations don't come to light. It always stays where it is. And the first one I'm going to say is make sure you communicate effectively, which I already talked about. I also said set your realistic expectation. Let it be realistic. Don't set unrealistic expectations like he has to call me 12 times in a day. Probably he does that before marriage. Then you think in marriage it's going to be so, or you think he has to provide everything for me. That's unrealistic. You have to support. That is why you're there. At the same time, you have to prioritize your intimacy and connection. You have to know what brings out that intimacy. It's not you can't always be having issues with your husband and expect that the intimacy, the connection will be there. No, you always look for where the peace is, and wherever his peace is where he's always going to go. So you have to prioritize it, and whatever brings that connection and intimacy, make sure you feed it and nurture it day by day. In fact, another one is you have to embrace imperfection. No one is perfect. You don't expect to have a perfect man, and such at the same time, men should not expect a perfect woman. Both of you are coming together does not even mean you're going to be perfect. They just know that there's always imperfections. So just embrace it and try to look for positive ways that you can be able to manage each other. It's not easy, a man growing up to a certain age without you don't even know him, you don't know where he's coming from, you don't know his ideology, you don't know his belief, you're just getting to know. Same thing with a woman, and you just expect that when you come together, because he loves you, at the same time everything should be perfect. It's not possible. Also, you have to cultivate the gratitude attitude. That is, you have to always say thank you. You always have to appreciate him, either by gifts, either by a hug, whatever works for you. Just know what your man wants, but make sure he knows that every little thing he does for you, and the big one, of course, you always learn to show gratitude. Then manage your conflict. My father will always say something: do not sleep and wake up. Do not allow do not allow the sun go down on your anger. That is, when you're angry, don't sleep and wake up with the same anger and carry the malice around with your partner. You always have to learn to talk. Don't sweep it under the carpet. One day that carpet in fact, they will say if you keep sweeping it under the carpet, one day you find out a lot of insects and everything has fed on it, and at the end of the day it becomes something you can handle, resort to divorce or separation. And remember that sometimes if you don't manage it properly, it's affecting the children, because when you're having issues, your children are watching you, the way you're greeting him and all of that. And children pick every little details that we are actually ignorant of, that we do not know we're even showing to them. Also, focus on the present. Stop saying in the past you used to do this, in the past I used to do that, in the past we always hang out every Friday. Then the future is here, the present is here, and you're comparing it. No, instead focus on the present. What works? What should I do that we will be able to go out every Friday, or at least twice in a month, twice in a week, or once in a week, however works for you. You have to focus on the present. And of course, you have to build trust. You have to always laugh together. While you're crying together, make sure you learn to laugh together. That is, let him be your gist buddy. Always talk to him. It's not every time, I need money, there's a problem at work, there's a problem at the market. No, sometimes gist, laugh, have fun with each other. And lastly, always seek help when you need help. Don't think you can do it alone. We have therapists, you have counselors, you also have pastors, but at the same time, I'm a bit skeptical about pastors because some of them are not certified therapists. They might not be able to give you the perfect perfect advice. So, but at the same time, when you feel like you're not getting the response you want, maybe they are probably sidelining, especially women. They always tell you, hold on. In church, they can tell you to, manage it, stay with him. They are not attacking the main issue, and you feel left out. I think at that point, you will now need a certified therapist and a certified coach, or life coach, marriage coach, experts in relationship and marriage. You need them to talk with you. At this point, I'll just say, always remember that every marriage is unique, and what works for you might not work for another person. Just be patient, be flexible, and be willing to adapt to the ups and downs of life together. And with love, with respect and communication, you can always build a strong and fulfilling marriage. I think at this point I should go and get a certification for marriage therapist or relationship coach. Anyways, at this point I have to wrap up the program because I can't even bring Gbemisola because of our time, no matter how much you want to talk. And I really want to hear some of the advice she would have given to women as a woman advocate, but it's unfortunate network was not our friend today. So we'll be wrapping up the show. Up next is News on the Hour, and of course we'll be having the Buzz. Today is Friday edition. It's quite interesting. We have music, we have movies, and of course we'll talk about superstars, global superstars, even Nigerian superstars, and our artists, those who are making waves in the music and the movie industry. Until then, my name is Rose Blossom. Up next is News on the Hour, so stay with me because by 12:05 we'll be coming to you, The Buzz. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.